Welcome to Belfast Exposed Street View. Belfast Exposed is the leading photographic centre developing Northern Ireland's photographic infrastructure. We offer exhibitions, a photo bookstore, training courses, a community archive of 1 million images, and a darkroom. Additionally, Belfast Exposed works in community engagement and outreach through photography. We are excited to present Street View, exhibiting the work of Matthew Finn. Born in Leeds in 1971, Matthew Finn studied photography at the University of Derby before gaining an MA at Westminster. Finn uses the people and events directly surrounding his life as visual references for projects that sometimes take years to realize. With no commercial constraints or deadlines, Finn's subjects are people that are important in his life. The recipient of the 2015 Jerwood PhotoWorks Award, his work has been exhibited widely, including shows at the Jerwood Space in London, Impressions Gallery in Bradford, Open Eye Gallery in Liverpool, and here at Belfast Exposed. Over a 30-year period, from 1987 onward, Matthew Finn collaborated with his mother, Jean, to document her everyday life through a series of portraits taken at her home in Leeds. This series, Mother, is a record of the ordinary and daily routine with which we are all familiar. It is also a record of the gradual shift from middle age to old age, and in Jean's case, to the onset of mixed dementia and a move from the family home into residential care. Finn's father never lived with him and his mother, and many times he'd make promises that he never kept. His mother would wait to be picked up for a night out with Finn's father, and Finn can remember her standing there, dressed in her fawn mohair coat, and he wouldn't turn up. Eventually, she'd retreat upstairs, taking off her makeup and going out clothes, and return to the TV. It seemed to happen a lot. Finn's father is not present in these photographs, just as he wasn't present in their lives, and yet he haunts these images. He was also the main reason that this project became so important to Finn and his mother. Finn's father died 26 years ago. On the evening before the funeral, Finn's mother, cigarette in hand, told him of half-brothers and sisters that he would meet the following day. This came as a complete shock to Finn. It seemed that his father was well known around Leeds and had been married to several women at the same time. Over the next weeks, Finn and his newly discovered siblings would look through the various family albums. There would be the same car and the same man in settings that were familiar to all of them. It was like looking at a picture from which Finn had been erased, a history which he'd been cheated out of. The more Finn knew about his father, the more he felt a need to protect his mom, to wrap her up in cotton wool, to be the supportive man in her life, someone who would not let her down. Photography and the act of being photographed, to be wanted and to be needed, formed a strong bond between them. Over time, Finn's mother became the director who would allow the camera in her presence. She became aware of the quality of light, of her best side, and how close Finn should get. He was more than happy to be involved in this dance until her diagnosis with mixed dementia. She fell silent and their collaboration was over. Finn no longer existed to his mother, and she could not recognize herself. What remains are these pictures. Finn's work Mother draws us into the fascinating dynamic of mother and son, offering an intense and honest view of the most natural and universal of bonds. Matthew Finn's series Uncle follows a man through his journey around his home in a suburb of Leeds. The unremarkable story becomes poignant and remarkable through the time span of the collaboration as we follow Uncle Des from the age of 58 up into his death at age 84 in 2014. For over 25 years, Finn followed his uncle, documenting the everyday habits and quirks that we recognize in ourselves and how we utilize our space. Seeing Des struggle to understand a microwave, choose between potted plants, or being caught in the act during his annual task of cleaning the windows at Christmas, this series offers the viewer a unique insight into how time is spent at home. Ultimately, through these images, we slowly follow Des into his final moments. Finn's partner Martina was also happy to continue his obsession with photographing everybody in his life in his series entitled Wife. Relationships are about sharing and communicating. In this way, this collaboration is not based on unconditional love, but an equal voice between Finn and his wife. As a result, this partnership is as much about Finn's journey as it is Martina's presence within the pictures. For the first time, Finn was a willing participant in making the images that the sitter wanted. In making Wife, Finn was no longer in control. Familiar with what Finn was doing with Mother and Uncle, and both being aware of what photography could do, this was a pure collaboration between Martina and himself. Like their relationship, this was a more equal endeavor than the one of photographer and subject. As a result, the images are universal and describe what it is to be young and freed from the traditional family roles of past generations. The final exhibited work from Matthew Finn is entitled Son, a person always there to be photographed, the ultimate expression of the photographer's unique vision, a subject that never says no. But how to photograph a baby, a young boy, and then a child with independent thought? Finn started making pictures of his son Sebastian when he was upset or unhappy, but Finn soon realized that wasn't who his son is. The photographs were not about Finn or his son. They were representations of a photographer weighed down by his own understanding of the visual histories of children in art photography. Finn had to learn that when your child says no, it is sacred and should not be broken even for a photographic opportunity. Those opportunities will come in the future when Finn and Sebastian can both understand what they want to say. He hopes that collaboration can be soon. In the meantime, Finn wrestles with making images that represent adolescence as a whole rather than that of an individual. Belfast Exposed is a charity. If you would like to make a donation or inquire about sponsorship opportunities, please contact us at info@belfastexposed.org. Alternatively, you can make a direct donation at our website, www.belfastexposed.org.